Chapter 5. Strange Caller.
Welcome back.
The secretaries, the directors, the cleaners, all the office staff stood in the office, waiting for Luke. As he walked through the door, they cheered and clapped. Luke's personal secretary, Mary, came up and kissed him.
It's wonderful to see you. We've all been waiting for this day.
Luke went into his office with Mary. She explained some of the things that were happening in the company and showed him the files with all the information he needed. Then the directors came in for a short meeting. The company had managed very well without the two partners, but everyone was glad to have one of the heads of the company back in control. After he had spoken to all of them, Luke sat in his office. It was strange. He was alone now. There was no partner sitting across from him. Nobody to help him make a decision, and nobody to stop him doing whatever he wanted to do. Yes, the company was all his. He looked at the photograph of Megan on his desk. Suddenly he wanted to be with her. He went out and bought some flowers and champagne. Then he went home.
Hello, darling. You're early. What a nice surprise. Oh, lovely flowers.
Megan put the flowers into a vase. She carried the vase into the hall and put it on the table under her favorite photograph. It was a photograph of Luke, handsome, happy, with kind, smiling eyes. Later that evening, they drank the champagne together.
To a wonderful new start. Cheers, darling.
Cheers.
And to my next business deal.
What's that, darling? The new building for the children's home?
No. To the new office building I'm going to build. Right in the middle of the city centre.
Office building? But I thought you didn't want the office building.
Well, I do want the office building now. I am going to name it after Jake. The Fulbright Centre. Luxury offices.
But you wanted the children's home so much. And the city is expecting you to build it.
Luke looked at Megan. His eyes were wet with tears.
I must do this, Megan. It was Jake's last wish before he died.
Well, I can understand those feelings in your private life. But Luke, do you think you should listen to your feelings and emotions in your business life?
He was my partner, Megan. He died and I lived. I owe him this.
Just then, the telephone rang. Luke went out into the hall to answer it. He picked up the phone and heard a strange noise. It was a voice. Well, like a voice, but strange. It seemed very far away, but at the same time as if the speaker was standing right next to him. He looked at the flowers on the hall table, and he tried hard to recognize the voice.
Why? Tell me why.
Luke didn't say anything. He waited to hear more.
Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
The voice got stronger as it repeated the question.
Why are you doing this?
Luke was frightened. Very frightened. He put the telephone down. At the same moment, he looked at the photograph above the table. Megan's favorite photograph of her happy, smiling Luke. The photograph moved. It clearly moved from side to side. Then it moved forward away from the wall. Luke stared in horror as it crashed down to the floor. Tiny pieces of glass and torn pieces of photograph flew across the hall. Megan rushed out into the hall.
What's that? What happened? Oh, my photograph.
Luke was white and frightened. But he answered Megan.
I'm sorry, love. I lifted my arm up. I knocked it off by mistake. I'll clear it up.
Megan looked at him. She was a bit worried.
Don't worry, I'll do it. You look tired, dear. Go and sit down. Remember, it was your first day back at work for a very long time. I'll make us a drink, and we'll go to bed early.
Chapter 6. Suspicions.
Cheers, darling, and a happy birthday.
Megan lifted her wine glass and looked into Luke's eyes.
And many more of them, together.
She kissed him, and they drank their wine. Nathan looked at the barbecue.
Not too many more glasses of wine, Daddy. Look, you're burning the steak.
Luke turned to the barbecue and moved the steaks to one side.
Hey, you used to be really good at cooking barbecues. What's happened?
Too much wine.
Quiet, Nathan. Luke, you don't look too well. Are you sure you're all right? Here, I have some beef curry for you over there. That should make you feel better.
But Luke didn't eat the beef curry or any of the barbecue food. Megan was worried.
Darling, really? What's the matter?
It's okay, Megan. I'm just not very hungry.
The telephone rang. Luke went to answer it. A familiar voice spoke to him.
Happy birthday, partner.
An echo from the past. Luke's face became white with fear. He put the phone down and walked back into the garden. Megan saw the colour of his face.
Luke, love, what is it? You look terrible. Who was on the telephone?
Nobody here. It was a wrong number.
Well, come over here and cut your cake. Okay, everyone, here he is.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Luke. Happy birthday to you.
All the guests cheered and clapped. Luke cut his cake and handed everyone a piece. Soon he was laughing and joking with them all. Later in the evening, Megan told Nathan to go and have his bath.
Oh, Mum. All right. I'll go if Daddy will come up afterwards and say good night.
Of course I will.
And tell me a story.
Yes. Now you go and have your bath.
Nathan came out of the bathroom, clean, tired and happy. Luke was sitting on his bed, waiting for him.
Hey, Daddy, aren't you glad you had that birthday? I certainly am. Daddy, will you tell me that story? You know, the one about the fisherman and his wife, the way you used to tell it, with the funny voices.
What story is that, Nathan?
Oh, you know, Daddy, our story. I'll be the fish and you'll be the fisherman.
I don't think I know that one, Nathan.
Oh, don't tease me, Daddy. Of course you do. We've done it 1,000 times.
Well, I suppose I just don't remember it then.
Nathan looked worried. Was Daddy joking or not?
Daddy, you can't have forgotten it. It's like forgetting your own name or who you are or Mummy or me.
Well, it looks as if I have forgotten it. Shall we have a different story? Shall I read you something from a book?
Well, yes, if you say so, Daddy.
Nathan listened to the
I cannot
story,
stay here for
and
long.
then Luke
I
said
came to
good
see
night.
my mother and show her my new
Nathan
wife.
heard him going downstairs. Then he lay in bed, worrying about his father. Something was wrong. Why didn't he know how to do the barbecue? Mummy was worried too. She hadn't said anything, but Nathan knew. He was watching and listening. And who was phoning him? Why was he upset after the calls? And what about the story? He must know it. He listened to his parents talking. His mother wanted to go somewhere.
Lucy's house. You know Lucy, my friend from aerobics. She's having a tea party on Thursday afternoon. A chance for us all to have a good chat. Do you think you could stay here and look after Nathan? I'll be back by 9 o'clock.
Yes, my dear, of course. I know how you women love to gossip.
Oh, really, Luke? Anyway, Lucy's very nice, you know. You won't forget, will you?
No, my love. I'll be here.
Chapter 7. The Psychic. Megan sat in the garden, enjoying the late afternoon sun with Nathan. They looked up as Luke walked across the grass.
Hello, dear. Did you have a good day?
Fine. You see, I told you I would remember. Nathan and I are going to have fun while you ladies chat. Isn't that right?
Megan laughed and went to get ready to leave. She drove in her own car to her friend's house. The front door was open, and she walked into the hall. Lucy saw her.
Megan, come in and join us. I'm so glad you came.
So am I. Oh, look at that table. Lucy, you shouldn't have done all that.
The table was laid with all kinds of sandwiches, pies, cakes, and biscuits. There were pots of different kinds of tea from all over the world.
Come over and say hello first. You know most of the people here, but I want you to meet someone.
Megan followed Lucy across the room.
Rose is a very special person. She can see into the future. She can see beyond our world. She's amazing.
You mean she's a psychic?
Yes. Isn't it exciting?
Megan looked at Rose. She was a pretty woman with bright eyes. She looked up as Megan walked towards her.
Rose, this is Megan.
Hello, Megan.
Rose held Megan's hands and looked into her face. Suddenly, Rose became very still. She seemed to be frozen or hypnotized. She stared deeply into Megan's eyes, and when she spoke, she sounded shocked.
Oh my God. Your husband is dead.
No, he can't be. He's at home, looking after our son.
Megan took away her hands, and Rose's face turned white, her eyes closed, and she fell to the floor. Lucy ran to her.
She's fainted. She has seen a death.
It can't be true. I left him half an hour ago.
Megan ran from the room into the hall. She picked up the telephone and dialed her own number. Luke answered.
Hello?
Luke, is that you?
Well, yes. Who did you think it would be?
Oh, nobody. Nothing. I just wanted to check that everything was all right.
Megan, I am able to look after a 7-year-old boy, you know.
Megan walked back into Lucy's living room. Rose was sitting on the settee drinking tea. Nobody said any more about it. Megan tried to forget about it. She had something to eat and chatted with different people. When she was back at home that evening, she told Luke what had happened. Luke became strangely angry.
Why do you listen to these stupid old women? I know you shouldn't have gone there.
Come on, Luke. There's no need to get angry. She isn't a stupid old woman, and she didn't mean to hurt anyone.
Hurt? The woman is dangerous, filling your head with lies, and you, silly enough to believe her.
Luke, please don't shout. Nathan will hear you.
But Nathan had already heard them both, and he was frightened.
Mummy, come up and say good night.
I'm coming, love.
Upstairs in his room, Nathan was almost in tears. He put out his arms and held Megan tightly.
Why is Daddy so angry, Mummy? What's the matter with him? He's not the same. He couldn't do the barbecue. He doesn't even remember our fisherman story.
Don't worry. It's because of the accident. He's lost a bit of his memory. The doctors told me that might happen.
But why is he angry about the lady at the tea party?
I don't know, darling. I expect it's all because of the accident. He was very ill for a long time. But he'll get completely better soon, don't worry.
What about the people on the telephone?
What people? There is nobody on the telephone, darling. You're imagining things. Now, it's very late. Time for boys to be asleep. And you've got the football match tomorrow, haven't you? You'll need lots of energy for that if you want to win.
We will win, Mummy. You'll see.
I'm sure you will. So, go to sleep now.
Megan kissed Nathan and turned off the light.